So I don't know who knows about Bassnectar. Bassnectar has multiple allegations against him when it comes to minors. And he was also with a management firm called Red Light Management. Now, Red Light Management represents my predator. They actually still represent him. And that's a whole long story for another day. Red Light Management is honestly what taught me personally how the music industry covers up essay, child essay, and adult essay. And I'm thinking about doing that this week because when I can actually show you through my own story, you're honestly going to be blown away. I didn't figure this out until January of last year. I was so focused on my, predator, and I wasn't even thinking about how the institution was covering up for him, protecting him, etc., in very active ways. And that's what changed my world. That's what made me create ePredators. It's what made me honestly realize that this is not just about the alleged predators. This is about the institutions that are covering up and enabling them. And so Bassnectar was with Red Light. Red Light was a co-defendant in the lawsuit. And we'll go through why. But anyways, Bassnectar's been accused of some horrible acts. He is about to play a New Year's Eve show while he is, to my knowledge, in the middle of a lawsuit. And if I remember correctly, it's a lawsuit with multiple plaintiffs. And when I got word of that, it sent chills down my spine. Because one of the reasons why I went to go protest Live Nation was because they should have these zero tolerance policies in place, but they don't really acknowledge or respect those zero tolerance policies. But what I had a problem with is if someone has allegations against them, I believe that there should be some type of disclaimer or a warning on the show to at least alert the audience, especially since the allegations against Bassnectar were from fans. This happens a lot in the music industry where because they're getting access to fans, they're exploiting their fandom. I really do believe that there should be some type of acknowledgement to the allegations, especially since some people don't know. Just like these reported survivors, reported victims didn't know when they went to his show. So one of the reasons I went to Live Nation was for that reason, to really kind of show that there should be some type of warning for the fans to at least be aware. Because what if this individual wants to take them backstage? If they don't know that this person has allegations, they might be very trusting because they're a fan and not know what this person is allegedly capable of doing. And it puts a lot of individuals at risk. The music industry doesn't care as long as they're getting their paycheck. They really don't care. They never get held accountable anyways, because it's very hard to sue a corporation, an institution. Much easier to sue the alleged predator. So here we are. Bassnectar is doing a show in New York. There are no warnings there. He's in the middle of a very serious lawsuit of horrendous allegations. And we're trying to go there to not only protest, but to at least allow the audience to know about the allegations. And one of my signs at Live Nation was to protect the audience. Live Nation, music industry, they don't care about the audience. They care about the audience's money. And I know a lot of survivors out there do care about the audience. And this is going to be a pretty huge feat. Getting to New York is going to be very, very hard. Obviously, there are expenses that come along with this. But I'm reaching out to community through the Patreon to raise funds so that I can personally go there, organize this protest outside of the Palladium in New York. And this would be so, so, so important to get the community involved in this. This is the first time I've gone to another state to protest, to organize a protest, and it's expensive, obviously. There's flights and it's the holidays, but I really want to do this. And I know a lot of survivors in New York that really do want to organize this protest. And so you can donate any dollar figure, even if you donate $1 to the Patreon. It will go towards fundraising for this protest. And it would be so wonderful to see all of you be a part of building this and be a part of the organizing of when it comes to a protest. And I don't know if we're actually going to end up being able to go there, but I want to try. And I actually met one of the reported survivors. I protested alongside her at Red Light Management. And I would also really like to go meet the survivor community in New York and do this with them. It would be so, so powerful. I'm thinking about doing it on December 30th, so not New Year's Eve, but I think it's the first night of his show. If you know anyone who's willing to give $1, please send them to the Patreon so we can organize this protest. There will also be action steps that we are going to put out into our community on YouTube, where you can call the venue, at least let them know respectfully about the ongoing lawsuit, etc. We're going to do action steps as well. If you can't contribute financially, there are other ways to act on this. I want to show you all a little bit about Bassnectar here really quickly. As you can see here, it says Bassnectar sued for alleged SA of minors, child P, and human blank. 2 accusers say EDM star broomed them and had S relations with them while they were under 18 and solicited N photographs. Bassnectar has been sued by 2 women who claim the EDM star SA'd them when they were minors. The lawsuit was filed Monday, April 5th on behalf of Rachel Ramsbottom and Alexis Bowling. It also accuses the producer DJ, whose real name is Lauren Ashton, of engaging in HT and manufacturing and possessing CP. The suit names several other entities affiliated with Ashton: Amorphous Music, Bassnectar Touring, Red Light Management. I see you there. C3 is also, by the way, Red Light Management's owned by Ticketmaster and Live Nation. I think so is C3, and Interactive Giving Fund. And as co-defendants, also accused of Human T. Very brave survivors here, by the way, because I feel like when Cassie came forward about P. Diddy, it was like, you know what I mean? It was like, whoa. Wow, the music industry is like really being called out. We got Sony execs in there, etc. But I really think it's important to take note of the Bassnectar lawsuit. Red Light was a co-defendant for these things. And yes, it got press, for sure. But obviously not the same way Cassie and Diddy. Really important for us to acknowledge how many survivors have been trying to reach out to community, to the public, and reveal the cover-up. And so, I'm not going to read this whole article here. Oh my God. Can you get out of here, Rolling Stone? Why are you in my face? I don't want this t-shirt, but I'll put it into the community. I'll also put it into the Reddit so that you guys can read the whole article if you don't feel too triggered to. Obviously, it's a very triggering article, and I want to make sure that you guys are able to read it. Recently, though, Rolling Stone got an exclusive here. Mice in a Maze of Pain. Inside the scandal-scarred comeback of star DJ Bassnectar, Lauren Ashton retreated in 2020 amid SA allegations, splintering a tight-knit fan community. Now former staffers claim he's a narcissistic tyrant. He vehemently denies all allegations, which, this is not shocking here. It goes into the culture, the alleged culture that Bassnectar was creating in his small community of employees, etc. And let's just say they didn't have much good things to say about him. And now look at him here. Where is this? Look at this. Now, one of the reasons I really wanted to to go protest Bassnectar was this post, honestly. I was so blown away. And now hearing that his staff calls him a narcissistic tyrant, I'm honestly not very shocked by that, you know, after seeing this. We don't cancel culture, we create it. I'm not sure exactly what he means by that. And it sounds a little bit narcissistic, to be quite honest. Is he saying he creates culture, but he's not listening to how others have said he has created, allegedly, hostile or etc. work environments, which is culture? It's just so wild for him to say we create it without acknowledging the ways in which he's contributed, allegedly, to a pretty horrific culture. And so I want to read this because as a survivor, it really triggered me. And I can't imagine how this post made the reported survivors feel. He starts this post with truth, lies, and cancel culture. And remember, I don't like having the argument about cancel culture because it's kind of a dead-end road, to be quite honest with you. But I like to talk about not financially rewarding those who have been accused of abusing individuals. And the more that we do not financially reward them, I'm hoping that it actually teaches these individuals a lesson. I really don't feel that someone can change their ways or get better or want to be better or do better if they're being financially rewarded. It just honestly to me doesn't make any sense. We all know human psychology, and we know that if we get rewarded for something that we did, we're going to want to keep doing it, or we're not going to see any reason to stop doing what we're doing. Here he goes right into the cancel culture, which is typical. Truth, lies, and cancel culture. Cancel culture is about hate, telling lies, making threats, causing harm and destruction. You know, Bassnectar was so interesting when I was reading that. I thought you were talking about your own allegations there. Bassnectar is about love, making music, making art, and making a positive impact in the world. And let's just say, did we remember what his work staff, employees said about him? Narcissistic tyrant. The Bassnectar project has always been about celebrating an ethos of compassion, connection, community, and creativity. That's the truth, he says. But cancel culture does not care about the truth. Ooh, you're really making me shake in my boots. It's a modern form of domestic blank, where disturbed individuals incite chaos through lies, hostility, and intimidation. It's a modern form of digital mob V, where the ill-informed masses... I just want to say something. You know what, Bassnectar? Are you patronizing the masses here? Like the people that are reading it? What the fuck is this, man? Ill-informed masses? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? I don't know how many of these individuals that maybe choose not to listen to your music anymore after reading, you know, the survivor's words. I mean, I read the Vice article, which was extremely heartbreaking. And I do recommend that article as well to everyone out there to read the Vice article about the Bassnectar reported survivors. It is beyond heartbreaking. This is about children. I personally think anyone who read that is not necessarily ill-informed. I think they have a heart. You know what I mean, man? I think that they have a conscience. You know what I mean? I think they are about making a positive impact in this world. I think they're about compassion, connection, community, those things. I think that's what the masses were feeling and thinking when they read those articles. I don't think that they are destructive individuals. I know for me personally, as a survivor, when I hear about allegations against someone, The reason why I no longer want to financially reward them. I don't want to contribute personally to, when it comes to a lawsuit, for example, a lot of these individuals' funds go towards these Hollywood industry high-paying lawyers that make a lot of these survivors' lives a living hell. And I personally can't give my money there. So I'm offended that you would call me ill-informed. I think I heard things from reported survivors, and because I have a heart and I have compassion for human beings, I no longer want to financially reward that. And so I don't really appreciate the way that he's starting this with this whole ill-informed and calling the people that are not for him some type of V mob. It's like, what? I think these people just want a peaceful place here on earth. I think these people want to not see anyone get hurt. They stand up for those who are crying out for help, wanting allies, wanting people there for them. I think that's the type of people you're talking about here, Bassnectar. But the way that you're framing this is to create an enemy and say horrific things about people that maybe don't necessarily support you, so that people that read this don't want to be those people. They don't want to be called these names, ill-informed, etc. In my opinion, this post is extremely manipulative. Where are we? So hostility, intimidation, it's a modern form of digital mob V, where the ill-informed masses rush to judgment, issuing guilty verdicts and vigilante justice against innocent human beings. Cancel culture is obsessed with destruction. No, I would say the culture is obsessed with justice and accountability. And it's not cancel culture. It's accountability culture. It's people standing up as allies for people that have been allegedly harmed, bro. This is so archaic and ridiculous. How long did it take you to write this? Who wrote this? Did you pay to write this, or you actually wrote this? What is this? Cancel culture is obsessed with destruction? No. He goes, we do not destroy, we create. Our community is beautiful, peaceful, and centered on basic values and human rights. We have the right to thrive. We have the right to peace. We have a zero tolerance policy within our community for cancel culture in any form. I wish you had a zero tolerance policy for alleged blank, blank, blank minors, children, blank, 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 blank. I wish your zero tolerance policy went towards more important things than cancel culture in any form. Zero tolerance policy for cancel culture, man. You are such a privileged male that's your zero tolerance policy. Oh my God. And to put it this way, it's just so aggravating. Okay, our wild style event is Las Vegas is on. The cancel culture mob tried to cancel us in Las Vegas and they failed. They lied about us and they lied that the event was canceled, and those individuals will be held accountable for their malicious behavior. What? But sadly, as we prepare to unite in Las Vegas to celebrate and rejoice together, our freak style event in Asheville has been postponed. The city of Asheville was targeted by a campaign of hostility, intimidation, and preposterous lies. You did not write this. In an effort to bring chaos and destruction to our event. We were welcomed by Asheville and promised a safe place for 6,000 base heads to gather and thrive. We have the right to thrive. It is our mission to bring healing and radiate positive energy all across the country. We will not back down. And you know what, Bassnectar? I do want to tell you that doesn't look like your survivors are backing down either. As a survivor, I find it to be really beautiful when people are showing up for survivors. I think it's a very beautiful thing. And I think it can create real change. It's what I'm advocating for here. It's what I've dedicated my life to, is to try to get allies to stand up alongside survivors for change and for safety and for accountability and for justice. And instead of really calling it for what it is, you seem to be trying to destroy when it comes to survivor movements, survivors coming forward, etc., you're painting them as if they are destructive individuals. And I have a problem with that because survivors are not destructive individuals. Them coming forward takes a lot of bravery, a lot of conviction, a lot of courage, a lot of strength. And they don't usually do it just for themselves. They usually do it so it doesn't happen to anyone else. And usually one person comes forward and that inspires another person to come forward so that that survivor is not alone. So to downplay what this actually is just a bummer. It's like, it's one thing to go play this show and announce it, but this, it feels almost defamatory. And so, you know, that's who Bassnectar is. Again, really trying to protest this show in December. And it would just be so wonderful if we could actually do this and stand up as survivors and allies for other survivors. Yeah, here it is, you guys. Here's our flyer. We're going to be posting it. I guess Bassnectar is going to call me a destructive individual, but really, I want to make sure that at least the audience is aware of these allegations so that they can make an informed decision if they want to be present. And, you know, I think it's very, very important for them to at least know.